Hey everyone, it's Angela Allen. Welcome back to the Handmade Homestead. Well, it is a beautiful, sunny, but cool day here on the east coast of Rhode Island in zone 7A. But the next couple of days, we are expected to have some pretty stormy weather. Basically, it's just a nor'easter, but instead of being snow, since it's not quite cold enough yet, it's going to be rain. So a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of time inside. So we're going to start preparing for that today by going outside into the garden. I still have quite a bit of things out there to bring in that don't need to hurry along because the frost won't really bother them. But we are going to grab some carrots, pull up some carrots, carrot tops, which is something I also use. I usually dehydrate those. Onions, garlic chives, green onions, and maybe some Swiss chard as well. So we'll get that stuff prepped, washed, cleaned, cut out, prepped, and in the fridge so we can have it to use for meals for the next several days while the storm is here. And hopefully I'll be able to spend some time getting some weaving done. Got to get some stuff in my Etsy shop. Christmas is coming and my shop is looking kind of bare over there on Etsy because I've had a very busy gardening year this year so far. So I'm going to get some of that stuff done. Hopefully this week in the next few days. Another thing that I do, because I'm a weaver and I always have a lot of yarn and I'm a hand spinner, I always have a lot of yarn around. I always make a bunch of hats, winter hats, and I donate those through our local church or homeless shelter or food pantries. I usually will give them a bunch of hats, handmade hats. So I want to get that going too. That's just something we do as a work of charity every year. So that's something I could start working on too. And I might just do that in the next couple of days, get that going too. So I've got a lot going. This is a great, exciting time of year coming up. And even though the garden winds down and goes to sleep, there is always plenty more to do. So out to the garden we go, and let's get some of this stuff prepped. Let's go. Well, here's my proof that I am the second hardest working person that I know, and Mike is definitely the first. Now these carrots got off to a late second planting. This is my second run of carrots for the year, and they were planted quite a bit later than I should have planted them. So they're not going to be very big. I don't expect them to be more than, a couple of inches at the most, but that's okay. Even super small carrots are 100% usable. I will harvest the tops to dehydrate. I use those like parsley in the kitchen. I love them dehydrated for soup and garnishes. They're just wonderful. And then I will snip off that little root tip off the end and scrub these clean and use them as is. Even the super small ones are absolutely delicious and absolutely usable. So I don't waste anything I don't have to waste. These are green onions. I'm going to pick a bunch of those and we'll get them chopped up and be able to use them too. This little patch of green onions, I started from seed, and I come out and get handfuls of the green leaves anytime that I want them. And they continue to produce beautifully, and they will do so until we get a very, very hard freeze. And even after that freeze knocks them down, they will come up again first thing in the spring and produce beautiful, usable leaves for the table again until they flower. The flowers are also edible, and we will use those too. But next spring, we will also plant another patch somewhere in the garden of green onions so that they can produce as well. I recently harvested most of the celery and brought it in, dehydrated it, but it's bouncing back again already, and I have some really great celery leaves that will be really delicious in soup
So I'm just grabbing a handful of them. I actually do have celery stalks in the house too. But the celery leaves are just a favorite of mine in soup, so we're going to grab some of these too. Now this definitely looks like a sad state of affairs. The leaf miners and some frost damage has gotten to some of these Swiss chard leaves. But not to worry, because these bugs are all going to die as it gets colder. And once that happens, the leaves at the inside from the center of the plant growing out will do just fine, and they will produce fine, usable leaves with really no problem with leaf miners or other issues. So that's just fine for me. I'm okay with that. It's that time of year where, you know, the bugs are having their last hurrah, and they'll be frozen and dead soon, and these plants will continue producing right until the frost. And even after the frost, if I cover them, most of the winter I can actually come out and pull Swiss chard leaves to eat here, so that's a good thing. And as you can see, the leaves at the center that are coming out are perfectly fine. So we're going to pick a few of these just to add to dishes, but I have plenty in the freezer, so I don't really need to pick too much for meals this week. I actually have another place on the other side of the garden over in that direction where I have another patch of Swiss chard too. Well, there, I've pretty much cleaned that up, and the pile of debris will go to the chickens. They will love it.
Well, back in the house, we are gonna sort through these vegetables, get them cleaned up and chopped up and steamed. I like to put them away cooked whenever I can, so they are just grab and go at mealtime. I can just pull out whatever, whoever wants green beans or Swiss chard or squash or whatever, can just help themselves and add to their plate the amount that they want and the kind that they want. And I truthfully usually keep 4 or 5 different kinds of cooked vegetables available in the refrigerator all of the time. I did check these Swiss chard leaves really well when I picked them to make sure that I wasn't bringing in any bugs. They do have a few holes in them from previous attacks, but I'm okay with that. I feel like if the bugs don't want to eat your vegetables, then you probably don't want to eat them either. And if the bugs do want to eat them, that means they don't have anything poisonous on them, and they're definitely a healthier plant. And again, I am an organic gardener, so I don't spray or put anything on my plants, fruits, or vegetables other than maybe a little kale and clay. I do have neem oil. I don't usually use it. I do use copper fungicide on the fruit trees, but not on anything else. I'm just going to cut these in wide ribbons just to make them easier to wash and easier to steam and easier to eat as well. So I'm just going to put a little vinegar and water in my salad spinner, and I'm going to let them soak for a few minutes while I get some other tasks done, and then I'll get them rinsed and ready to be cooked. There are a lot of amazing healthy greens to choose from in the gardening world. We like Ragged Jack kale. We do like Malabar spinach, New Zealand spinach, but Swiss chard is our absolute favorite. We do eat some mustard greens, broccoli greens, kohlrabi greens, stuff like that too. And definitely bok choy and some lettuce, but we would rather have Swiss chard than anything else. Something I love to always have in my refrigerator are containers full of fresh, ready, already snipped herbs to throw into recipes or on top of salads or soup. This container is nothing but little rounds of green onions. I cut them a little bit on an angle, they look prettier, but I do keep one container of that in the fridge as much of a year-round time as I can. As long as they're available in the garden, I have one of those in my refrigerator. And I usually do another container full of mixed herbs. Now I am going to put the rest of these green onions in here, but I'm also going to put celery tops. That's what you see already in the jar. I'm going to put some of those carrot tops, and I'm going to go outside and get a handful of herbs off of my green stalks so I can add thyme and sage and parsley and fresh oregano also to that mixture. I also often add garlic chives too. And this is a mixture I throw on top of everything. If I'm doing eggs, if I'm doing potatoes, everything, even salad, it's really good that way. Herbs are one of the most expensive things to buy at the grocery store, yet they are super easy to grow and very prolific. I added mint to this as well. I picked a handful of apple mint, and you see me putting it in there too. Just gives such fresh flavor. And that is the rest of the green onions so that they are all used up. All you really need to keep them fresh is a paper towel at the bottom and then an airtight container when you put them in the fridge. And they'll last at least a week that way. I give them a little shake once in a while, but they never last that long, really. Now, this is a bunch of baby zucchini and baby tromboncinos. When we pulled down the vines yesterday, I pulled off all the little baby fruit that I could find, and these are all just going to get washed and chopped up, and I'm going to blanch them all and stick those in the fridge too. So there'll be another vegetable that we'll be able to eat this week. They'll already be ready to be served. I'm going to use the salad spinner, get the moisture off that Swiss chard. And I'm doing that because there's probably a little bit of vinegar left there on the leaves, and I just want to shake off the rest of it because white vinegar can just taste kind of harsh. Let's get these chopped up and into the pan to steam. In just a couple of minutes, I have cooked vegetables. And you'll notice I'm going to put them all in the same container. There's some green beans I steamed just a few minutes before I started the process of going through these vegetables. Right when I first came back in the house, I got those green beans steamed. Those are from the garden just a couple of weeks ago that I had frozen. We'll get these all in the same dish. Put the cover on, just keep them steaming. They will finish cooking right there in that warm dish, but that makes them ready to put in the refrigerator once they've cooled down just a little bit. So I popped all those carrots off the stems, washed them super well in this bowl 2 or 3 times, and I am popping off the little root hair at the bottom and just dropping them in that little bucket. And we're going to steam those too and put them in the refrigerator also as cooked carrots. I have one hard working stove. I must clean this stove half dozen times a day. And it's always in needing of another scrub. So I do wash it down between recipes or between projects just to try to keep it a little bit cleaner. The stove looks like it's 10 years old, but I swear it's only about a year old. I do really like it. It has a lot of great features. All right, time to separate out the tops, the carrot tops. I try to just use the soft green fern-like leaves at the edges. I don't want any of the big, thicker stems in there when I dehydrate it, but I don't take every tiny little stem out. That would just take forever. I am going to chop this up with a knife when I get it all set, and then I'm going to just sprinkle it on the dehydrated trays and get them loaded up in the dehydrator. These will only take a couple of hours to dehydrate. My dehydrator is pretty powerful. I really like it. It's 12 trays. It sits in my kitchen, and it is there year-round because I use it all the time year-round. If you're looking for a dehydrator, I do have a video about how to choose a dehydrator for yourself, and the link to the one that I use is down below in the show notes under my Amazon shop. Just click on the Amazon shop link and then click on the dehydrator section of the shop, and you'll find it right there. It's quite a powerful one. It does work very quickly, and I'm really happy with it. And I love the light inside. That's a very helpful feature, I think, too. I think that wraps up most of the projects for today. Well, thank you for spending some time with me today while we got some prep done for the upcoming storm. As always, it's always a pleasure to spend time with you. I so appreciate your likes, comments, subscribes, and shares. It helps so much with the algorithm. We are trying to grow our channel. We are busy trying to grow. I look forward to your comments every time you make them, and I so enjoy talking back and forth with you. It's just a lot of fun. So I will see you next time. Take care.